wondering why you're there, and you're wondering why she's there. And you're asking her why is she working at the McDonald's? She's like, well, look, I don't want to be the kind of person that doesn't pay their mortgage. So I'm here working as hard as I can to pay that mortgage. And not only do I do that, all my peers, you know what they do? They pay mortgages, right? And I don't want to be like the kind of person that doesn't pay the mortgage, right? And so I'm doing whatever I can to make sure that I'm an okay person in this world. Everybody else is paying their mortgage, and so I want to be that kind of person. And you're like, you've been writing checks and sending it to the mortgage company? She's like, yeah, as much as I can every month. They haven't said anything about this? You keep sending them? Absolutely, yeah, because why would I be the kind of person that doesn't do the right thing? Everybody pays their mortgage, right? Everybody around me does. I don't want to look bad in front of those folks. I want to be the kind of person that does the right thing, that pays their mortgage. And you're just scratching your head. So what are you doing? She doing? It's kind of a similar situation that the Apostle Paul was in the first century. The Apostle Paul was helping people start churches back in those days, but the church wasn't built on any sort of organizational principle. It wasn't built upon the methods or anything. The church was built upon people who had believed and experienced Jesus as risen from the dead. And one of the things that they came to believe and experience, they didn't have Bibles at that time. They had portions of the Old Testament that people would bring around. But believers would come around and they say, this man Jesus lived, and he died, and he's risen from the dead, and I know it's real in my heart, and I'm experiencing forgiveness, and I'm experiencing grace. And you can experience this too. And people are like, really? And they were jumping on, and these churches started forming, right? And so the Apostle Paul is seeing these churches form around this message of grace and of hope. And now, Jesus was a Jew, and he built the faith upon the worldview laid out in the Old Testament, right? But one of the things that was true about the Jewish culture is that they had a whole bunch of, they really valued the law of God, and they valued it so much that they put all these extra laws around it. And what started happening is throughout the Roman world, these folks from Jerusalem, after these people started believing in Jesus and these churches started forming, they started saying, oh gosh, these people are believing about Jesus, but they don't know anything about the Old Testament. They don't know anything about Moses. They don't know about the law. They don't know about circumcision. We need to teach them. And if they don't know how to be a good Jew, how are they going to be able to follow Jesus? And so they started going around and they started saying these things like, okay, it's good that you believe in Jesus, but now we need to teach you about Moses, and so you can get circumcised too. Wow, that's awesome. And that you can start doing all these rules. And Paul's like, what? No. Why would you do that? And Paul would say to them, you couldn't even obey all those rules. Why are you making them obey those rules? Why would you do that? And in multiple letters throughout the New Testament, Paul is protecting this early church from adding to the message of the gospel, adding these extra burdens, these extra rules, these extra cultural things. Not too dissimilar from this young woman. If I can make the metaphor plain, we're like the young woman when it comes to our debt before God. Just like that woman was never going to be able to pay a $20,000 a month mortgage, none of us are ever going to repay what God has given to us. Just like this woman received a farm by grace. We've been given a life by grace. We've been given a body. We've been given the earth. We've been given sovereignty over this world. We've been given a world. We've been given a life. We've been given a body. Everything has been given to us by grace. Nobody earned their birth, right? Nobody earned their birth. Nobody earned their parents. Nobody earned their place in life. Nobody earned their way into the wealthiest place in the wealthiest moment of history ever. None of us earned any of this. All of this was given to us by grace. And yet, we can't even afford the mortgage on our lives, right? Because, having lost track of who God is, we live in all sorts of different manners of ways, and so a debt's been built up. We can't pay that debt, and so not only has God given us a life by grace, He's redeemed our lives by grace. Just that woman's mortgage has been